Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome to another one of my videos in my Discovering Kelowna series. When I moved to Kelowna, I set myself the personal challenge of seeing all 203 city parks in 1 year. I'm about 80% of the way through. It's going really well. Today, I'm once again in the neighborhood of Southridge. So, what is this south of? This neighborhood sits up on the southern ridge of the canyon of Bellevue Creek. That canyon which expands into the delta where the mission is, right? So I did make a video in this neighborhood before a couple months ago, and I was south of where I am now. So we saw Powerline Park, we saw the Southridge detention pond, I saw a marmot. I had a good time. So today we're a little bit north of that. It's a little bit newer. So Southridge is being developed in stages. The area to the south of me that I saw before was built about 20 years ago, and this neighborhood we're going to see today was built about 10 years ago. And then just to the east of here is the new neighborhood called the Ponds, which is being built right now. So that's all very exciting. The other thing about this neighborhood is that this is an area that was all burned in 2003 on the Okanagan Mountain fire. It was a huge fire. And this all used to be forested, and now a lot of it, the trees have gone, and you've got open rocky spaces, and they just came in and they built some neighborhoods there. Well, they were going to build the neighborhoods there anyway, so I don't know, I wasn't here, I don't know what it looked like before, but I imagine it was like much of the ponderosa pine and Douglas fir forest that surrounds Kelowna. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see if we can see any signs of the fire or how things are springing back, because fire is not an unnatural thing in the ecosystems around Kelowna. I mean, I hope you come along and see what I have to show you today in Southridge. Hey, so here I am coming to you for my first park of the day, the Southridge open space. So as we've seen in a lot of these newer developments here, the Ponds, Wilden, places like that, large amounts of the territory are left as conservation corridors for animals and plants and their genes to flow around and provide healthy ecosystems and maintain the biodiversity, even though people are coming in and paving some of their previous territory and building their houses there. So this is one of those spots, and like a lot of them, this park is basically a very steep hillside that was left aside. Of course, it's the easiest way to provide these conservation corridors because these are not places that it's suitable to build houses on. So all the nice ridge tops get smoothed and have houses, and then these steep slopes are left for the animals. And you know, it works. Even while I've been here today, I saw a deer using this space. Down on the hillside below me, I see a nice patch of Oregon grape. It's a Mahonia, and it's got all sorts of berries and things. Tip, if you like to gather wild berries, Oregon grape berries have lots of pectin, so if you're making jelly, throw in a few Oregon grape berries. It's clearly a space that the plants and the animals are using and still enjoying. I mean, we'll see how things develop over the next few decades, but for now it's working. I don't see any official trails in this park. I don't see any unofficial trails in this park. So, you know, maybe it's too steep for people to comfortably use, and that's even better for the plants and the animals in the area. So, not a developed park per se. No, not yet providing any trails for people in the area, but providing an important service nonetheless. Southridge open space. Hey, so here I am coming to you for my second park of the day. This is the Benmore open space. So once again, we see a conservation corridor that's been left aside. This is also on a slope, but it's a less steep slope, and it's got a little bit of a meadow down there, and it's a really, really beautiful patch of land. People who live around here are lucky to have it behind their backyards. Once again, no official trails, no official development yet, and I also don't see any unofficial trails, although I'm sure people do cut through here. It's not so frequent yet that there's been ruts dug into the ground. So in particular, though, there's a spot or two where this park connects through to Benmore Court, and I would not be surprised if in the future some trails were put through there, either officially or unofficially. But it's a beautiful patch of land. It's not hard to imagine deer, bears, whoever, grazing on berries and things down there. It's quite idyllic, and it's nice that it was left aside for the people of this neighborhood. Benmore open space. Hey, so here I am at my third park of the day. This is the Clarance open space. So this park is on the corner of Clarance and Kuiper, and it is also an undeveloped open space, but it is a huge lot that is forested with this dense aspen wood that you can see behind me. And I don't think that aspen is the dominant species on these south slopes, so I think this is probably a more rare ecosystem. I don't know how rare, maybe it's not that rare, but it's beautiful, that's for sure. There's these lovely aspen trees with their fluttering leaves and lots of rose bushes. I can see the hips developing behind me, and I don't see any official or unofficial trails into this park, but I am just happy that this nice patch of beautiful woodland has been preserved for all the people in this neighborhood and all the people like me who come to visit it. So here I am at Clarance Open Space. Hey, so here at my fourth and most fabulous park of the day, Kuiper's Peak. So this park preserves the hilltop that is the height upon which Southridge and its neighborhoods are built. All those neighborhoods that we've been visiting today and on the previous visit have been sloping up to this point. It's, I call it a hill, it's not really a mountain, but it's the same height above sea level as Knox Mountain or as McKinley Mountain, which I visited in my previous video that I put out last week. So interestingly, just like McKinley Mountain, you know, you started off halfway up, as it were, altitude-wise. So it's half the distance and half the time of climbing Knox Mountain. This one is, I'd say, half the distance and half the time of McKinley Mountain. So a lot of people would not consider this a hike even. I would say I agree, it's more of a ramble up a hill. Not really worthy of the name, but it is no less beautiful and no less amazing. First of all, when you get to the top, the view is amazing. Let's check it out. So to the south, of course, we can see the south slope, and you can really see where the forest fire ended and the treed slopes begin. To the southeast, we can see the canyon where Bellevue Creek comes down out of Myra Bellevue Provincial Park. We follow that down. Over there in the valley is where Canyon Falls is. And if we keep going, you can see all these lands, which are part of the ponds. And in the next 10 years will be developed into subdivisions and a series of neighborhood parks and urban trails. If we go this way, you can see the new Ponds Middle School. And down below us, you can see in the midground the forest of Woodhaven Regional Park. You can see where the canyon opens up in that V shape. Below these houses is the area where the village center will be. That's all commercial zoning. That's not been developed yet. And as the Bellevue Canyon continues, you can see the Mission sitting there on its delta. And of course, we can see Okanagan Lake. And across the lake is West Kelowna. In the middle distance there, halfway up that hillside, that's Mount Boucherie. And of course, if we head up this way, you can see the successive headlands there along the Kelowna shoreline. There's that first big point is where Sarson's Beach is. The next one's where Mission Creek's mouth is. And then, I don't know if you can see the little bump where the Roxby wetland is. And then finally, there's the treed headland where City Park is, and then you can see the towers of downtown. You can also see Knox Mountain there, and on the right side, Dilworth Mountain. And of course, if we continue, we can see down to Kettle Valley, the neighborhood that is, and south along Okanagan Lake. And if I keep going around, you can see the water reservoir in Kuiper's Peak Park. Second of all, this whole hilltop was burned in the 2003 fire, and it's a great place to see how the ecosystem is recovering. It's been 17 years now, and you can see there's a lot of Saskatoon bushes everywhere and other shrubs. The pines are also coming back. Some sections of the trail you don't see hardly any pines at all, but in particular just on the north side of the peak I saw a bunch of pines that look like they've been growing there for a few years. So it's coming back, and it's going to be fascinating to watch. I wonder how many decades I'll be able to observe that progress for it. I'm looking forward to it. This park is named after Marius and Sadie Kuipers, who had a dairy farm, I think, near here. Well, they had cattle for some farming purpose, and apparently Sadie used to come and protect this area and feed the wildlife, and loved it to pieces, and helped to make sure it was preserved. So that's great. We're thankful. This is going to be surrounded soon by further development, but it's nice that this park was preserved. To the south of here, actually, even though it's not parkland, there is a gorgeous valley, which you can see it's got some tracks and things, but no official developments. And it's still not subdivided, and it's still not zoned for residential or anything like that. So it's still a playground that people can go and explore. I don't know if there's any plan. It's within the maximum growth boundary that the city has set, but I think they're resistant to allow subdivision. I think there's some people who would like to add some housing there so that there's more population density to support the village center that's going in on Gordon, but I think there's resistance. So we'll see how that plays out over the next little while. Anyway, if you like rambling over some rocky hills and getting amazing views, you should definitely come to Kuiper's Peak Park. Hey, so that was my walk for this week, and a beautiful one it was. We explored the upper slopes of Southridge, a 10-year-old neighborhood with several lovely green spaces. We saw Southridge open space. We saw the Benmore open space, the Clarance open space, and they were all beautiful and green, but they were nothing compared to the main event, Kuiper's Peak. And it was a lovely walk up a rocky hillside through a recovering ecosystem to a spot with an amazing view, and I recommend it to everyone. You know, don't expect to be doing some serious hiking or climbing a mountain, but it's a park worth a visit. It's not just for the people in this neighborhood. It is a destination park. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed what we were able to show you this week. I hope it inspired you to go out and climb some hills in your area, or come down to see Kuiper's Peak. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll keep putting out videos where I'm discovering more and more of the parks of Kelowna. There'll be more hills to climb in the weeks ahead. And if you like this video, hit the like button and let me know what you liked about it. Let me know what other kind of information you want me to give you when I come to these places. I would love to hear your feedback. Anyway, this is Jeff. Until next week, see you then.